I'll say action when I want you to play that. And if he starts barking, I want you to immediately pause it. Don't wait for me. Just if he starts barking, immediately pause it. And then if you have to, turn the TV off. Okay, Duke. All right, we're rolling?
Yep.
All right. Duke here has a problem with other dogs. Now, we suspect he may have actually been in a dog fighting situation in a previous home, and which would be the reason why he's so reactive to other dogs. Now, we spent a lot of time in the session going over rules and structure and the benefits of positive dog training, but in this video, we're going to talk specifically about counterconditioning and how we can help a dog learn to filter out the sounds and sights of other dogs. Now, on the TV right now, we have The Secret Life of Pets. We have it paused. Now, what I've got here are the high-value training treats. I'm trying to keep him from looking. The TV's right over there. I don't want him looking at it. I think we blocked by the couch. I'm going to take one of these training treats. I use the Tricky Trainer chicken livers. I'm putting my hands on the flat, my fingers on the flat side. I'm squishing it so it's flat like a pancake. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it and let him nibble on this. If you see for this, I can adjust which direction he looks by where I'm holding this. And this is going to come into play in a little bit. So I want to get him used to chewing on these treats without any stimulus or anything going on that he's normally reactive to. So what I'm going to do now is I'm letting him chew on these in about 3 or 4 bites. For counter conditioning, what we want to do is we want to produce the stimulus, in this case the video of The Secret Life of Pets, in a lower level of intensity, low enough so that he can filter it out. Now, I do this in a couple ways. Sometimes I do it by lowering the volume, sometimes I lower the speed, or sometimes I increase the distance. In this case, we're increasing the distance and lowering the volume. And we may take away the visual component of it as well, because even when we had pause before, he would still bark at the TV screen. All right, so to start this, I'm going to be doing this, and he's going to be chewing on this in about 3 to 5 bites. So I'm going to do this last one, and then the next one we're actually going to play The Secret Life of Pets. We've got a scene queued up where the dog's about to start barking as soon as we start playing. So I want to be delivering the reinforcer first, this treat, and I'm chewing on it, and then I'm going to say action. Dad is going to play this for a couple seconds, and we have the volume low enough, and the couch should be blocking where I've got him looking in a different direction. All right, action.
Katie would do anything for me, and I'm her loyal protector.
All right, pause, and turn it off. Now, the reason I have the leash is to prevent him from... Sit. We're going to redo a redirect real quick. Sit. Stay. Stay. I'm just trying to redirect his attention away from it. We've turned the TV off so he can't see it. Stay. And we practiced the stay a little bit ago, so he kind of knows what it is. The more you practice stay, he'll be really able to focus on this. Stay. And then his word to be released is bail. Or, yeah, right?
Yep.
Okay. So now you see he's not so wound up. When we first did this, after we stopped it, even after we turned the TV off, he still was going around the room looking for it. So we want to do something to get him out of that funk, out of his movement. And that tells me that volume was a little bit too loud, or we were too close to it. Now I've got a leash, and I'm kneeling on the leash. My 2 tests for this is the dog interested in the treat, and will it stay in a seat or a sit? As soon as it gets up, or you put the treat and he's looking around elsewhere, that's his way of saying that I'm too interested in the stimulus to be interested in your treat. So then we might need to move him a little bit further away. We might have to move him up the stairs. We might have to help him practice this by where maybe we're in the dining room and he can hear the sound of the dog barking but not see a visual component. Now, we want to keep it, sorry buddy, you're a little tangled up. We want to keep it as high as we can for the stimulus, high intensity, without the dog reacting. And we're going to practice at this distance. Maybe we have to do it over there, so we're just doing it at the volume. Maybe we start off at volume 2. And he's chewing on the treats while he hears this little dog barking on TV. And then we eventually, after we do it, we can do this, and he can play it, and he doesn't look or stop taking the treats. Then we practice the next time. We maybe go to volume 4, and then volume 8. We gradually work it up until it's coming through it sounds like a real dog in the room. Now, we also have a stereo component in front of the TV, which makes it sound like it's in a stereo. So we might actually want to, sometimes that's a little bit too intense, so sometimes we might be able to disconnect that and just play it out of the speakers from the TV. We want to, just like I said, have it as low intensity as we possibly can until the dog can master it, until we get to the point where we do have it going through the mains, and it's full blast, and he's off to the side, and he's just chewing the treats, he's ignoring it completely. It's kind of like the principle, this is called a little desensitization. Kind of like if you live next to a train, the train goes by so often you just filter it out, you don't hear it. Everybody else is like, how can you live here? You just become accustomed to it. So in this case, we're going to help him get accustomed to the sound of the dog. Then we're going to come back over here, maybe over here, or maybe we do it with it. We have another TV, it's a little bit further away. We want to be able to orchestrate the situation where the TV is far enough away, and it might be just where we just have the visual and it's paused of a dog on the screen and dog's not moving. And now at this point, like I talked about earlier, I was able to move his mouth, move his direction of his head. Come here, buddy. Come on. I don't like physically manipulating a dog. Sit. Let's say the TV's over my shoulder. So what I do is I hold it and I let him look at the TV while he's chewing on this. And before the treat disappears, I would tell the person, all right, now, and they would turn the TV off. So the only time I'm seeing as a dog, the only time I'm seeing the other dog on the TV, first I'm getting a treat delivered, suddenly the TV comes on, I can see a dog there, but it's far enough away and it's a cartoon so I can still eat the treat. And when the treat's about to be gone, I tell the person who's in charge of the TV a signal word, like enough or whatever, and then before the treat is gone, the stimulus disappears, then I take the treat away. So what we're saying is when the thing that you don't want to have happen happens, you're getting the best treat you've ever had. As soon as the treat goes away, the thing that you don't want goes away as well. So we're trying to kind of flip the script. He's barking because he's saying, I don't want you here. Get out of my TV. Well, sit. A little passive training. The more that we do this, then eventually he starts to associate, when I hear dogs on TV, I get these treats. And because they're far enough away and we're keeping him what we call sub-threshold before he's freaking out, he's able to deal with it. Sorry, buddy. You're a little distracting. You going to be okay? It's like, yeah, I just need a drink of water. But basically, this is a counter-conditioning and desensitization exercise. And if we do them properly, like I said, we might have to do just the sound of the dog until we get to the point where it's full volume. Then we might actually have to do a visual of that one dog from that scene. But that's a movie, or an animated movie. We might actually have another one where it's different types of dogs. So we might have to record some episodes of The Dog Whisperer or different programs. You gonna be okay, buddy? Let's chew him up next time. I'll take you off the leash. But the idea is to get him used to the stimulus in very, very progressive and gradual levels of intensity until we work our way back up to the real life. Now, at first, because he does this on TV, and as reactive as he is, I think because of his dogfighting background, this is causing some problems. And when we go on walks, it's even worse. So the Guardians have kind of stopped taking him for walks because they have to walk by dogs every time they take him for a walk, which is why we went over other ways of exercising the dog. Now, before you're going to do this exercise, we can put our dog in position to succeed by doing a couple things. Don't do this after feeding him. Do it before you feed him. And make sure you get him exercise first. So maybe run him around the house with a laser or play a game of fetch or whatever it is. And once make sure he's not panting. When he stops panting, then we come in here and then we do a little bit of this. Maybe we start off by doing a little bit of the stay exercise. And then after the stay, then we do a little bit of this. And then if we need to, we go back to the stay like I just demonstrated. But eventually you shouldn't need the stay. He should be able to filter this out if you do it properly. Remember, as soon as he starts reacting, you're not going to make any progress. At that point, the person in charge of the TV has to mute the TV or turn it off. And then we're going to need to, we might actually have to take him around the corner somewhere and get him out of the line of sight. Then maybe do a little focus exercise, I haven't shown him focus, but the stay exercise. And once he's completely forgotten about it, then we go back and practice that again. But don't practice it like the TV is right over there. If I always practice it in this location, then he kind of knows this is what we're going to do. So we want to practice it in different parts of the house. Do we have a TV down in the basement too? So maybe we use the TV downstairs.
We only have the on-demand up here.
Okay, so we might have to get go to a pawn shop and get a DVD player. Usually you can get it for like $15, $20. And you just plug it in whatever TV around the house and then get yourself a couple DVDs. Now, you might have to also do it for different ones. We might have to go through all the scenes of Life of Dogs. And then we might have to find Dog Whisperer or 101 Dalmatians or another video that we can help him practice with. But the idea is eventually we get to a tipping point or a threshold where he's like, okay, it's just the sound of dogs barking. I'm cool with that. Then once we do this visualization of cartoon dogs, then of a still, or maybe a still of the cartoon dog, then the cartoon dog moving, then a real dog frozen on screen, and a real dog moving. And also the size of dogs. It might be better for him to have a little Papillon than a Dalmatian or a big dog. And certain dogs are alerted to certain breeds or colors of dogs. So if you notice that every time he sees a white dog, he's more reactive, well, then maybe we practice with black dogs or brown dogs at first and gradually work our way up to the white dog. Now, eventually we'll get to the point where we might be able to start practicing this with real life dogs, but I think because of his background, I talked to the guardians off camera, we might need to do some behavior adjustment or bat training with him to help him learn a new way of interacting with dogs as opposed to trying to kill them. But maybe I just walk away from there, I turn the head to the side, or I offer a yawn or another calming signal. Duke. Come here. Sit. Hey, Duke. Duke. Come here, buddy. Don't use the laser as a distraction for this, because that I think will make it actually worse. This is Duke, and these are some tips and tricks you can use, how you can use counterconditioning and desensitization to help a dog stop reacting to the sight or sound of dogs.